Hi, I'm Robin.
And I'm Bill.
Welcome to Not the Retirement Show. Today we're chatting about 5 unexpected benefits of eating healthy in retirement. Bill, I love this subject because, something as simple as nutritious food has the capacity to help you have better blood flow and better oxygen flow, which can actually help you think a little more clearly as an older person.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from the sort of medical aspect of things, and we're no medical experts or anything like that. You should consult your GP. But I think there's another issue that steps into that conversation, which is cost, and particularly in inflationary times. The notion that you can go to the supermarket and easily pick up nutritious food, fruits and vegetables, etc., is fine. It's a great idea, and if you can do that, good for you. Which is perhaps different from what you used to do when you were working. In other words, that you would have breakfast in the morning quickly, or a cup of coffee, a piece of toast. You would dash out the door to go to work, and maybe you'd have a sandwich at lunchtime, which was probably enough to keep you going. And then come home at night. You were tired. You would have something to eat, perhaps. Maybe you'd even dropped into the grocery store and picked up a TV dinner, which is maybe not the most nutritious food that you could eat, but it was handy. I mean, that's why they call it convenience food, because it's convenient to do something like that. Now that you've got more time, then perhaps you can go to that nutritious food angle that you're talking about.
Well, you just mentioned cost. Think about it this way. Yes, grocery store prices are definitely on the rise with everything that's going on, but so is healthcare. And if you compare the cost of buying healthy groceries with the cost of medical bills, all of a sudden, those healthy groceries are a real bargain, because the longer you keep yourself in good health, the less the medical bills are going to be. So, it's really a double-edged sword, because some people will say, oh, fresh fruits and vegetables, way too expensive, not in my budget. Yes, they have a price. But the other thing about them is they're what's called nutrient-dense foods, because they are in their natural state. If you look at a box of processed anything, doesn't matter whether it's breakfast cereal or crackers or cookies or anything like that, they might seem cheaper on the shelf if you're just looking at the sticker price. But when you're talking about their nutritional value is very, very low in comparison to fruit and vegetable and other food in its natural state. So what's the point? The point is, in order to feel satisfied, to feel full, you've actually got to eat a lot more of the unnutritious food than you do of the nutritious food. So you'll discover that although the sticker price of individual fruits and vegetables might seem high, you actually, if you go on a diet of nutritious food, you'll actually buy less food overall on average. And somehow or other, that grocery bill has the capacity to magically work itself out.
Well, I think that opens up the whole question, though, of quality versus quantity.
Of course.
And I think one of the issues as you get older, particularly in retirement, perhaps, where you're not going out every day, 5 days a week, etc., to work. I mean, you may be working at home, or you may have, a part-time job or something like that. But I think it's reasonably well believed that, as you get older, you don't need the sort of quantity of food. I mean, I kind of feel like that. I think my quantity has gone down somewhat in my older years here. So I think the quantity quality issue, and again, you could relate that back to cost. In other words, if you are eating less food, if your quantity is coming down, can your quality go up? Therefore, can you take your budget and apply more into quality foods? Yeah, I mean, I think there's an argument for that. But certainly as you get older, most likely your capacity for food, your appetite will, change, for sure change. And you'll be eating different things at different times of the day, perhaps. But also you may just sort of think, I don't need as much food nowadays as I used to do when I was really working, especially if you were in a physical labor situation at work.
Well, there's no doubt that they've done studies that have proven that on average, older people do eat less, but that sort of highlights the need, if you're eating less, to try and put the best quality food that you can into yourself. And there are so many reasons why that's a good idea. Let's think about what happens when you eat that high quality food. Your body burns the food as energy in a more efficient way. Why does that matter? Well, that can do things like give you a more positive outlook on life. That can give you more energy to do the things that you enjoy. That can even have the capacity to do things like lessen inflammation and lessen joint pain. Once again, these are things that you should talk out with your doctor to make sure that you come up with a wellness plan that uses food to help improve your overall health.
Well, also it raises the question of calories and carbohydrates. And I think as we get older, we typically want to find out more about calories. We've always heard about calories. We know all about that. I don't know that carbohydrates were high in everyone's list. I mean, certainly it's not something that I particularly remember investigating, shall we say, or reading up about. Calories. Yeah. So I think that is something that you would want to be having a look at. Again, perhaps talk to your GP, but read up about that. What is it? What's the difference between calories and carbohydrates as that affects your body? Because as you get older, typically, you put on a little bit more weight. So therefore, if you're eating, high calorie foods, you're maybe going to accelerate that weight gain. Maybe you're okay with that, of course, and that's fine. You just accept it as being a getting older kind of a thing. Is that something that you do? I mean, does weight gain impact you? Do you feel bad about it? What are your eating habits? Tell us in the comments below. Come on, and then we'll come back on and chat to you about it.
Well, you're raising a great point, because sure enough, everywhere you look, everybody is recommending a different kind of lifestyle. And you hear things about a keto diet or a paleo diet, and people talk about carbohydrates and the difference between a carbohydrate diet and a diet that's high in fat. And who knows, what's the right one for your particular body type. So once again, these are things to be investigating with your doctor. I think our last point, and we actually touched on this in one of our other videos, is that eating the best food for your body can actually help you sleep better. And I don't know about you guys, but sleep is something that I could do with as much of high quality sleep as possible, especially as I start to get a little bit older.
I was always intrigued by the Mediterranean diet.
That's another one. Yeah.
That has a certain appeal to me. I've always wanted to ask somebody, does that actually mean that I have to go and live in the Mediterranean?
Oh, wouldn't you like that?
I'd love that. That'd be a great idea. Actually, that's something that we're going to do in a later episode of this particular show. Is we're going to talk about places, particularly in Europe, where you might think about retiring, whether that's Spain or Italy or places like that. So look forward to that. But yeah, the Mediterranean diet has a certain, attraction, I must admit.
Well, if you're still listening, we must have said something helpful. So please subscribe to our channel, and we'll chat with you again soon. Take care, everyone.